I'm a political economist, and I'm really interested in the issue of public debt. And I studied public debt from two perspectives. Originally, I was most interested in why prosperous, rich, developed countries get into a situation where they are completely at the mercy of financial markets like Italy or Greece, even Japan or Belgium. Why do rich countries get into this situation? This is the topic that my first book explored. Then my interest turned to the question of what happens to these countries once they get indebted and once they become completely dependent on the goodwill of financial markets. And this is the issue that brought me to the question of sovereign ratings. Sovereign ratings seem like an arcane topic, but most of us have probably heard about sovereign rating agencies, especially because they have been so crucial in triggering and fueling some of the most recent financial markets. And so my question was, if these rating agencies exercise such power over whether governments can or cannot access funding from financial markets, how do they get to decide who gets to borrow cheaply, who gets to borrow at a more expensive price, and who doesn't get to get funding at all? And so my second book looked at this, and what we discovered with my co-author, Dr. Alison Johnston, was that these decisions that sovereign rating agencies make are actually very much influenced by the policy choices of governments. So for example, governments that maintain generous transfer systems such as generous pensions or generous unemployment benefits, they are actually much lower rated than countries where benefit systems are much more meager. Countries in which left parties or center-left parties dominate are also significantly lower rated when center-right governments are the norm. And so what we found with my co-author was that the policy choices that countries make influence their credit ratings. And that's really important because those are actually choices that should be left to the electorate. It's a question of democratic sovereignty, whether these countries get to choose the policies they want without having to fear either much higher costs on their borrowing or, in the extreme case, being shut out of financial markets completely. And so therefore, the next question arose, why do governments put up with these constraints? And this is the question that I addressed at my stay, during my stay at the Institute for Advanced Study at the CEU. And the answer that I found was rating agencies are simply untouchable. Governments and regulators have actually tried to rein in or replace rating agencies for a while, not so much for their role in constraining policy, but mostly for their role in the role that they played in triggering and fueling those financial crises that I mentioned. But they have been unable to do this. And the reason why nobody can actually touch rating agencies is the function that rating agencies play in contemporary financial markets. Rating agencies create a common language of risk that different actors in financial markets can use to communicate with each other and get into transactions. So if we remove the providers of that language, financial market transactions become impossible, i.e. markets will grind to a halt. And not only will financial markets grind to a halt, but the entire financialized economy is going to be affected. So this gives an explanation for why rating agencies are simply immutable. I'm really grateful for this time that I got to spend at the Institute for Advanced Study. I'm very happy to have met wonderful scholars from all over the world. I'm very grateful for the friends I made, but also for the things that they taught me about issues as varied as the art of the found object or the economics of Facebook videos or even the issues of democratic transition in Hungary in the 1990s. I thank all my colleagues and the staff for a most rewarding experience.